Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my vlog channel. My name is Becca and today we are doing a Q&A, a third trimester Q&A, and also we're gonna do a little bit of nesting because I have some stuff that I have to do in the nursery, mainly just like putting away clothes and stuff, which is so cute. I'm so excited. I wanna show you kind of what I've done already. It is so dark in this room because like this tree completely covers the window, which is gonna be good for the baby. Oh, a bird just came through. We have some mourning doves that, oh my gosh. I have finally found their nest. I was wondering where their nest was, but that one's just sitting chilling right there. So I think that's where the nest is. Anyway, how bad is it if I have the light on? It's pretty bad. Not terrible, but it's not the best. So this is gonna be her dresser, and this is one that we already had, and I got this secondhand off of Marketplace, and it came in a set of 3. So it came with this dresser, this bed frame, which you can't really see, but it's like a shelf bed frame and it's really beautiful. And then it also came with a short dresser. This short dresser is just like way too short, so we're gonna get a changing table instead and put this in the closet. Okay, so this is the shelf where she's gonna have a bunch of books. I think I wanna try to order another set of these shelves. I got them on Amazon like a bunch of years ago, so I don't know if I'm even gonna be able to find it again, but if I can, I will be ordering it. The closet is just filled with baby stuff, but I did organize it a little bit better. So we've got like diaper stuff, bathtub, little like play gyms. That is all like bottles and feeding. And then I hung up some clothes. That's pretty much as far as I've gotten so far. I'm only going to be washing the newborn and 0 to 3 size clothing. And then everything else that is not that size is currently sitting in her bassinet right here. So I got the Baby Leto Yuzu crib because it turns into a mini crib. It is like very, very pretty and it has wheels and we're pretty happy with it. But I will say that this wood is pine wood. So it's very soft and it dents really easily. That's like my only bad thing that I have to say about it so far. Like it came with scratches and I told the company and they said that they could just replace the pieces. So just to like send them an email about the letters of the pieces that were damaged. So I'm kind of contemplating if I want to do that or not. I don't know. It's just like one extra step and everything else. And then for the car seat, so far we have the Nuna Pippa and we set it up, figured out how to like put it on the base, take it off the base, all of that stuff. And so yeah, that's all ready. All right, so really funny story. I've been using this little mixing bowl to carry her clothes up and down the stairs when I have to wash them because the loads literally fit in this. I'm a big like stickler for laundry stuff, so I do separate colors and whites. Maybe not everybody does that for baby clothes, and I might eventually not do it anymore, but the first wash I definitely did. I have these velvet hangers for like kid sizes. And then I got little clips like for the velvet hangers and you just can attach this here and yeah. So I'm rolling all of the sleepers and things like that, but if it's like an outfit, then I'm hanging it up. Okay, the first question is what has changed since the second trimester? So, oh gosh, a lot has actually changed. I had a really, really nice second trimester because I felt amazing after almost 20 weeks of being really sick. So needless to say, like once I hit 20 weeks, it was like the best. I know that the second trimester technically starts at week 13. So I guess half of the second trimester really sucked and half of it was amazing. And a lot of the third trimester so far has been pretty great too. But the thing that has changed the most is I have a lot of pelvic pain. And I'm taking like prenatal yoga right now and I really just can't do a lot of things in it because it just aggravates my pelvic area. I just didn't think that this would be a thing. Like I had no idea. That's been hard because it has made me have to be a little bit less mobile. Like I just can't work the same that I used to. I do a lot of manual labor. Obviously I'm building a greenhouse and it's just really hard on my body to be lifting. And I guess as you get further into your pregnancy, that's gonna happen just with other physical limits. So that's been kind of hard for me to come to grips with. But other than that, I feel like there's no way that I could get any bigger. And yeah, I am gonna get a lot bigger than this. But that's probably the biggest things is like my belly. It's like, wow, she is pregnant. There is no denying it. There was a few questions around like childcare and like getting a nanny or anything like that. And honestly, I can't speak to what I'm gonna wanna do later on, but I do know right now that I'm going to be home with her. Just with the nature of my job, it makes sense. I'm gonna be here, and I might be looking into getting another job, like a work from home job, just because YouTube isn't really bringing in the big money right now. It was never bringing in big money. Let me be clear about that actually. But my YouTube channel, my main channel, is going through something right now. I think a lot of YouTubers are experiencing this. But with that said, I just don't know if I feel completely comfortable entirely relying on that. But I also am like fully understanding that if I was to go back to work like outside of the house and I had to pay for childcare, it would almost completely negate my income. Like there's almost no point to doing it. Awesome. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't know, if things don't change on my YouTube channel like and improve a little bit financially, then I would probably have to find a job, but I would hope that it would be a work from home job so that I could stay home with her. I'm definitely super open to like having babysitters for like date nights and stuff like that, but I don't know if I'm going to have like full-on childcare. Probably not until I have our second child, which will be in a couple of years. What are you looking forward to most? Okay, well, there's so much that I'm looking forward to, and I think lately I'm just really looking forward to holding her. And yeah, I just kind of like, yeah, I just want to like hold her. I know that I get to like hold her in my belly, and like anytime I do like a prenatal yoga class, it's really nice because we kind of, I don't know, it's like the one place where I can go and just be only the pregnant girl and be super mindful there. And it's really sweet to just like one of the things that we do in the class is we hold our belly and we like transfer, she says like transfer energy to your baby. Like what do you want to like tell your baby? And every time like I just want to start crying because I'm just so excited to meet her and like see what she's gonna look like and be like. So I'm definitely excited for that. I'm excited to see what she's gonna like, if she's gonna want to do things that we like, or if she's gonna have like completely different interests. I'm just super curious about what she's gonna look like even. Okay, this question is, are you scared of giving birth? It has always worried me. Yes, for sure. It's absolutely a fear of mine, and for so long in this pregnancy I was in like fight or flight mode. Like I was just trying to get through to the next day because I was just so sick. And once I started feeling better, that's when the birth anxiety came in, because I was like, oh shoot, I have to get it out. And as she's gotten bigger, like that has definitely been more of a thought in my head. And I don't know. Well, okay, hold on. I have questions for you guys too. So swaddles and things like this is like a muslin blanket. We have so many of these. What do people actually use them for? Because like there's lots of swaddles now that are just like zip swaddles or Velcro swaddles, and we have a ton of those too. So like, do you need both? And I know that people have said like you can use these as like a burp cloth. They're kind of like a catch-all thing. Like you could just like, you know, do this and like have the baby there. But like, do you need to have a lot of these? Because we probably have like a drawer full already, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot. So let me know, what did you use like swaddles for? Like this is like a muslin cloth swaddle. It's really pretty. I just am confused as to why we need like so many. Well, we don't need any of this, but you know what I mean. I'm confused as to why we have so many of them, if that makes sense. Like, do you even need these cloth blanket swaddles if you have the Velcro swaddles? Okay, that's my question for you. Now back to the birth anxiety. So yeah, I definitely have fears and stuff like that, but I've been doing some research and learning about hypnobirthing, which is basically, it's not like full hypnosis or anything like too wild like that, but it's basically just getting your mind in the state of mind where you are extremely relaxed throughout your birth. And you know, a lot of people say that that's like really not possible given like how much pain you're in, etc. And I can't speak to that. I have no idea, but I have heard so many stories from this book that I'm reading and also from my doctor herself. I told her that I was looking into this and she was super excited. So yeah, I've heard a lot of really great things about hypnobirthing. So that's kind of the birthing school of thought that I'm going into it with. And I am keeping the plan very loose. Like if I end up wanting to get an epidural, then I get an epidural. If I end up not wanting it, then I don't have to have it. But it's just keeping things loose and mostly focusing on keeping myself like in a zen space throughout the birthing process. I am scared, but at the same time I'm also kind of excited to like know what it's like and to feel that like amazing feeling afterwards, because I've heard you just feel like superwoman, and I love feeling like superwoman. Have you noticed a big difference in your mood swings, depression, being super happy, etc.? Yeah, I definitely have noticed that some days I'm just like very, very crabby or very, very emotional. And this isn't like all that strange for me because I do deal with anxiety and depression and kind of have that like up and down mood thing depending on lots of things. I think everything's a bit more extreme. I've only had like maybe 2 or 3 emotional episodes where I was like inconsolably crying, and like it was about silly things. It wasn't really about anything super intense. So, which is nice. Like I'm able to get through like the real hard things, but when Domino's doesn't deliver to my house, it's game over for me emotionally. Will you share your baby's birth story? This is a hard one because I've been thinking a lot about how present I want my baby to be online, and really at the end of the day I don't really want her to have any sort of online presence. And I know for some people that's a bit disappointing, but for majority of people, they're like, yeah, that's good. That's probably the better thing to do anyway. So I said on my first like initial pregnancy Q&A, you'll know she's here, but is she gonna be at all a main character or even a side character on my channels? Definitely not. So that's kind of still what I'm thinking. I don't know if I even want to share her name. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking through all of this still, and it's like a very big deal. And it's really important that we keep our kids safe on the internet. But with that being said, the birth story is kind of like our story. And I think that is something that I would potentially share, especially if it's a positive experience, because there are so many negative experience birth stories out there that really scared me. And I feel like when you are pregnant, people want to tell you how terrible it is all the time, and which is like fair, like we need to vent. But I think that it's also really important to share positive birth stories, especially ones where a ton of medical intervention wasn't necessary. And like if I do end up having a birth like that, I would love to share that. But no matter what, I'll probably make like a nice caption on Instagram or something like that, like a little journal entry style caption, like telling the story just for, I don't know, sentiment. I don't know how deep into the details I'll get, but I do think that it's important to share positive birth stories. And even if I have a negative one, like that's okay too. Like it's not my fault. It's just it is what it is. That's how it happened. I definitely want to make people feel at ease about giving birth if they are really nervous and anxious. And again, that feels kind of silly to say as of right now, because I don't know if it was like a positive experience that I would want to share, but I'm manifesting that it will be. Will you guys have a baby moon? Oh my gosh. Well, we tried to have a baby moon. So we actually worked with a travel agent to book a trip to the Dominican Republic, and it just, so many things got in the way of this trip. One of them being my husband's job. With my job, things are much more relaxed. Like I can take vacation whenever I want. But for him, you know, obviously with traditional jobs, it's a little different. So that got in the way a little bit. What really would have gotten in the way, so we had already canceled the trip at this point, and we were just planning on maybe using the travel credit to go somewhere else, like at another time. Like a little bit later, so we had time to put in his vacation time. What really ended up happening that made it good that we canceled it was on the day that we would have left, my husband woke up like at 1 a.m. We would have had to leave our house at like 3 a.m. that day to go to the airport, and at 1 a.m. he woke up with appendix pain, and then literally within a couple hours his appendix was out. So it was absolutely crazy, and it's actually really good how it worked out because we had canceled the trip before this like medical emergency happened. But I can't imagine like having our bags packed and like being ready to go, and then all of a sudden my husband wakes up with appendicitis the day we're supposed to leave. So I don't know how that would have even worked with like getting a refund and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, it ended up working out that we didn't do a Babymoon, but we're big travelers, so it's kind of sad that we didn't. But I did get to go to Jamaica with my friends. I made a vlog about that on this channel. If you want to see the trip that kind of ended up being my little Babymoon to myself, I will link that in the cards. It would have felt honestly more stressful to plan a whole other trip than to just like be at home. And he gets a lot of paternity leave, so maybe during that time we can, you know, take a little mini trip or something while the baby is still kind of little and do like a little family thing. Something that would have been really nice is doing like a staycation. Like I really would have loved to just do something like that, just like a little weekend thing. But the resort culture in Missouri and in the Midwest in general is just not there, which is so strange to me because I grew up in Arizona, and like resort culture and staycation culture is huge. Like there's so many beautiful and cute boutique hotels, like especially in Phoenix. And my family would, and in Tucson as well. And you know, my family, we didn't take like a lot of huge vacations, but we would do staycations pretty often where we just like go to a hotel for the weekend and like swim in the pool and just like have fun. And I would have loved to do something like that. Like I didn't need to go on this like huge trip, but we didn't even really have the option to do that because there's not a lot of resorts around here. And if there are, I don't know about them, and they definitely aren't like the ones in Arizona, which is what I'm comparing to, which is probably unfair. But long story short, no Babymoon. Maybe we will take a weekend trip if we can before she comes that's like drivable, but I'm honestly not prioritizing or expecting that. These are the little overalls that I told Daniel I was pregnant with, and I'm so excited for her to wear these. I think she's gonna probably fit into these. Well, actually I don't even know how big she's gonna be, which is super crazy that like she could come out extremely tiny or she could come out very plump, and you just never know. But anyway, I think she'll probably be able to wear these by like October or November, and that's when we usually bring out our like overalls and stuff, and so we're definitely gonna have to take some pictures. What is your birth plan? Okay, so it's all very lax, as I said earlier, but I pretty much plan on going unmedicated if I can, and well, at least like as long as I can. And I think the main reason behind that is just because the thought of not being able to walk around, because when you get an epidural, like you can't really walk around. Maybe if it's like a really low grade one, you could. But anyway, my impression of epidurals is you kind of just can lay there and you can get into other positions assisted, but you generally aren't going to be able to move around a lot. And the thought of that honestly makes me super, super anxious, just not being able to move. I'm planning on not getting one, but if I need one, I'll totally do it. This outfit is one of my favorites. It's so cute, and it has like this little cardigan. Adorable. Our hospital also has a really well, I don't know if it's like a really good low intervention program because I have nothing to compare it to, but our hospital has a low intervention birthing program where they kind of make it feel a little bit more like a birth center rather than a hospital. So there's like special rooms and there's like a tub, and it just feels a little bit less clinical. And I've never given birth in there, so I don't know if that's actually going to be true, but they limit like people coming in and out, they limit monitoring, like all this stuff. And you can only really use this room if you have like a low risk pregnancy. So like if I had things that would make me require more monitoring and stuff, then I probably wouldn't go in this room. But so far everything has been low risk. I love it. And you can like mix and match this. This can go with like anything in her clothes. I'm so excited to put together little outfits for her. That's another thing I'm excited for is to dress her. She's gonna be like a little cute doll. But my birth plan is labor at home for as long as I can and then drive to the hospital. We don't exactly live around the corner, so we're gonna have to be a little bit mindful about the drive. And then I would love to like be able to move around a lot, labor in water. I would love to be able to like give birth in water. That would be even better. I feel like the bath has been like my safe space throughout this entire pregnancy. Like whenever I would feel really sick, I would just take a bath and just lay there and it would feel so good. And I don't know, I just feel like that association is really positive and it would make me feel really calm. There's lots of other little details in a birth plan that I'm not going to share because it's not like totally necessary, but as low intervention as possible and water. That's pretty much it. Weirdest, most unexpected thing you've experienced while being pregnant. This one is very strange to me. I've never really heard of this happening to other people, so if it happened to you, I'd love to hear. But I pretty much don't have to wash my hair anymore. And I think it's because pregnancy has like dried out my skin, but not necessarily to the point where I like look cracked and dry. I mean, sometimes I definitely do. I have to moisturize my skin way more than I used to. And my lips are always dry. My hair, like my scalp is just like not producing as much oil. And I literally, like, I'm not even kidding you. I could go like 10 to 14 days without washing my hair and it would not look like it at all. Like it would look like day 1 or day 2 hair that entire time. And like I can feel when I get to like day 7 that it's feeling a little bit more gritty, but it doesn't look like it at all. And it doesn't even feel all that gritty. Like it feels like day 2 hair. And prior to getting pregnant, my hair would get greasy like noticeably around like day 3 or 4. So I could go, you know, a few days between waterings and I could even milk that even further if I was wearing my hair in a ponytail or something. But yeah, like I already didn't like washing my hair all that often. And now I pretty much never have to. I don't know if it like stinks, but generally like it usually looks clean, and that's just been a wild thing to me. And it's actually been a huge blessing because when I was super, super sick, the last thing I wanted to do was wash my hair because, you know, I have bangs and every time I wash my hair, I have to style them because if not, they'll just be a mess until I shower them again. So yeah, I have loved that part of this and I hope that that is a permanent change, although it probably will not be. And that's definitely due to like a hormonal change, something like that. So that's probably like one of the best things to come out of this pregnancy. Okay, this question, we're running to the end here. Do you have any names picked? So we have her first name picked for sure. We're kind of battling it out for the middle name. Like we can't really decide on a middle name quite yet. There's a middle name that I have loved for years and years and years, and I've always wanted to name my daughter like this first name and this middle name together. My husband isn't too keen on the middle name, so I got the first name, so I'm trying to be more compromising and let him warm up to it, and if not, we can choose something else together. And the second name that we are possibly thinking is a family name on both of our family sides. We just haven't talked about it in a couple weeks because it just doesn't feel like the most important thing right now. But she definitely has a first name and a last name, but middle name is where we're kind of running into, not conflict, but we're running into roadblocks because we just can't make a decision. And then there's just a bunch of questions regarding the nursery, which I'm sitting in right now. And I guess I can like talk about how my nursery plans have shifted and changed as we finish out folding these last couple of towels. But I thought at first that I was gonna do this like really intricate nursery with like wainscoting and wallpaper and all of this stuff. And now we're like 6 weeks out from my due date. And I don't think she's gonna come early, but what if she does? You know, like I'm in this mindset where I'm in groups where women who I've, you know, not talked to, but like read their messages and all this stuff like throughout our entire pregnancies. Cause like if you didn't know, there's like groups for certain due date months, like on Facebook and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm seeing so many posts of women like going into labor and like having their baby, and we're like, I don't know, between 30 and 34, 36 weeks ish, all within like a little range there. And so it's just kind of put a lot into perspective for me. Like I'm 34 weeks right now, and if I was to go into labor, they probably wouldn't stop it. Like, well, you can't stop labor once it starts. Point is, if something happened, they wouldn't like put me on bed rest, you know, they would just be like, all right, we're doing this. So it's kind of put a lot into perspective for me, and we are just like, oh shoot, we have so many things that we still need to order. Yeah, so we've been making a lot of orders online and just finally getting like a bunch of last minute stuff. I'm finally putting together the nursery. So all of this to say, the reality check of, wow, other women who are like the same, in the same place of pregnancy as I am are having their babies. It was a huge reality check for me just to be like, okay, so we're not doing wainscoting, we're not doing like all this crazy stuff in the nursery because I barely have time to like organize her clothes, you know? So what I'm gonna do, we definitely are gonna paint in here because this color, our entire house is painted this color, okay? So our house was a rental before we bought it, and it had the landlord special. So the paint was all the same color in every single room. There's paint on the trim. We've been undoing a lot of landlord specials since we've lived here, which has made it like not very fun to do home improvement stuff because it's just clear that people just didn't love this house before we, like the previous owners, they just didn't love this house. And not to say that renters don't treat houses well. I mean, sometimes they don't, but a lot of the times they do. We were great renters at our last place. But the point is landlords sometimes don't really care about the appliances and the paint and the aesthetics, the quality of the work, because they just want it to be as cheap as possible. So painting the room was always going to be the thing. And what I originally wanted to do, I actually have the wallpaper. I ordered this sample from a company called Wallpaper from the 70s, and it is just like a woven wallpaper. So you have to like put the glue on the wall and then you put this up here, which like I think this would be absolutely so cute and beautiful, but it's a lot more work than just putting a coat of paint on the wall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint it, and then I'm gonna do a scallop detail in the paint, so kind of like a lumps, scallops. And then I found these decals on Etsy that I really think are so cute, and they're like woodland themed. So I'm gonna get those, and then we're gonna stick them on the wall. And I think this is gonna be the accent wall, where like her crib, and you know, like usually behind the crib they put so like all the cute stuff. So we're not gonna get a name sign or anything like that. And then I'm still kind of looking on Marketplace for a changing table and the rocker. I really don't want to spend a lot of money on the rocker because we're spending a lot of money on other things, but I have heard that it is like the one thing that you should splurge on because you sit in it so much, you spend so much time in that chair. So I'm just trying to find like maybe a secondhand option or a budget option that isn't terrible. I did find a few on Amazon that I liked and they had really good reviews, but you just don't know until you sit in it, and that's what's so hard with ordering things online now. And most things you have to order online, especially in the town that I live in. Like stores really never have things in stock, they have to order it, so I might as well just order it myself. So other than the chair and the changing table, we have everything we need for the nursery. Oh, and a rug. We're gonna need a rug for in here. But other than those three things, the nursery has, like, we have everything for the nursery. We just have to clear out the room, which I'm really having a hard time wanting to do because I love having 2 spare rooms. It's been so nice. We can host so many people, and knowing that we're going to be down a spare room makes me kind of sad. We will sell this bed probably in the next couple of weeks. I wish that we could store it because it's so comfortable. I love this bed. It was my bed like growing up and in college. So, and not that I'm like sentimental about a mattress, but it's really comfortable, and I feel like finding like a good quality comfortable mattress, like it's just expensive. So I have a hard time getting rid of things. If you hadn't noticed that about me from my decluttering series, I just don't like to get rid of things, especially if it's like useful. So yeah, but we will eventually get rid of this bed. I'm gonna try to sell it like as a set, the mattress, the box spring, and the bed frame. And I hate to break up like the triple set of furniture, but I think that's just what we're gonna have to do because this dresser is perfect for what we need right now, and it'll fit in the closet really well. But that's the nursery progress so far. So haven't done much besides like pulling things out and organizing things. If you have any other questions about 3rd trimester, pregnancy so far, anything like that, I am happy to keep chatting in the comments down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I did some baby laundry. I have all of her towels and washcloths in this little bin, I guess. I need to get some sort of like skinny cart for the bathroom so that I can also have like my postpartum stuff on it, but I want it mainly for her bath stuff so that it could just stay in there. Our bathroom does not have a ton of storage, so kind of just hoping to find solutions for that. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive during this pregnancy and instilling all of your wisdom onto this first time mom. I'm really excited to learn from you guys because so many of you have had kids and have been so sweet to share things and teach me things. And definitely let me know about the swaddles. Why do we have these? Is it necessary? I'm not gonna get rid of them, but I'm just wondering what can I use them for, okay? All right, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.